Okay, so this is the walkthrough video of the joint oiling routine. So the routine is just a follow along that you can do daily and watch and make sure you're doing all the moves. But this is just a little more in depth, gives you a little more knowledge on why we're doing the moves, some insider tips on the best ways to do the moves so you can get the most out of this routine. So there's no real reason you start at the top and work your way down. That's just how I did it in the video because I think it's the easiest. But we're working on all the major joints, the spine, the shoulders, the hips, and then we actually do the ankles because they're very, very important. As every day we're walking around, standing on our feet, doing different things. So we need to make sure our ankles can support that. So let's start all the way up at the neck, and this is the first move. And this is the one move that we have to be careful with. We can't do too many reps of this in the beginning because you have a lot of tiny little muscles in your neck, and too many reps is going to kind of work them out too much, and you might get pretty sore and possibly give yourself a headache. So we want to avoid that. So just stick to the 5 reps in the beginning, and we can slowly progress and add reps on later if you want to, especially if the neck is an area of concern for you. Many people have trouble with your neck. I've had neck injuries, and this routine has helped me tremendously clear that up. So not only do we have the 3 ways you move your neck, so left to right, and these are just trying to follow the main ranges of motion because we want to get that synovial fluid into the joints. So when you do these moves, really focus on opening that joint, everything muscle led. We're staying in green zone. And so that's what we want to do with all 3 motions, right? So then your ear to your shoulder is the goal. So I like to kind of just try to stand tall and really try to angle it straight down. You don't want to tip forward, you don't want to tip backwards. You really want to try to get it right to the side the best you can and as low as you can. And you might only have just a couple inches of range of motion. You might only be able to go to here, and that's okay because the more we do it, the more oil you get in there, the more you're going to be able to move that joint. So that's the second way we do. And then the third motion of the neck is chin to your chest and then look all the way up at the ceiling. And so sometimes when I do that, I like cough and I feel it really tight in my neck, and that just shows how tight some of these muscles can be. So we really want to open them up slowly, muscle led, always muscle contractions is what's moving the joint. So up and down, and it's okay if you kind of choke a little bit, just relax, don't go that far. That's just telling you you've gone too far. Go a little bit lower where you're actually in control. So, and then we're gonna move down just a little bit further. Now we need to open up this whole like upper chest, upper back area. And one of the best ways to do that, and it also helps a lot with these neck muscles, is these shoulder rolls. So you just kind of try to make big circles with your shoulders as big as you can. So really coming up to the top, going forward, dropping all the way down as far as you can. You really kind of feel it pull down this way and then rotate all the way around. And then we want to do the same thing, but backwards. Big up at the top, roll back as far as you can, drop down, forward, and then back up. And so we really just, the goal is to get that full range of motion, to really open up those joints, to allow that synovial fluid to get in there, to lubricate and oil them so they can heal old injuries or just keep them fresh for you to be able to move every day. So we're not as stiff and sore all the time. This will flush the system, it'll flush the joints, and it starts to get you to feel looser throughout the day and just in general. So after we kind of open this up, we want to work a little bit more on the back area in the scapular region, right? So this is where a lot of muscles connect, a lot of fascial lines cross there. So we're really just trying to open that up and get all those joints and muscles and fascia to move and start to hydrate and heal. So I'm just gonna do it from a side view. And so you just put your arms in front of you, and all you're doing is trying to take your elbows as far back as you can, and you pinch with these muscles back here, but you almost want to angle it down this way. So boom, just like that, pulling your elbows back and pinching your back. So I'll do it from the back version, and you're just pulling back, and it kind of pinches there. So again, it's just opening up this upper part healing, oiling, getting this region to move. So and then we're going to work on the spine a little bit, and the next motion of the spine is we're trying to get this upper trunk, this upper part of the torso, and we're just kind of like lean, almost like you're sliding your hand in your pocket down all the way to your knee. And then just come back up, always muscle led, don't whip it, don't jam it, don't force it, don't swing up, pull with your strength. And that's all it is. It's just nice and smooth, feeling that open up, being in control the whole time. So after we open that up in the spine, we want to do a little bit with the shoulders. And so this is the one that a lot of people may struggle with. Shoulders are a major injury area for people. It's a struggle area for people, and this little bit of motion is going to start to heal those joints, especially when you combine it with some of the fundamental positions like the hang. So what we'll do with the shoulders first is we want to get this lateral motion, right? So I think in the video I do it with 2 arms, but you can do it with 1 arm at a time, especially if it's something that bothers you. So we don't ever want to go into pain. So if this is as far as you can lift it, it's okay. Back off, be able to kind of brace, be able to control the arm, feel it kind of just flex. That's going to kind of squeeze that joint, squeeze that synovial fluid out and oil it up a little bit. And then eventually we'll be able to get it higher and higher and higher until you can do the full range of motion, right? And so another thing you might feel in the shoulders, and especially with this next one we do, because after we go lateral from the side, we're going to do big circles, big arm circles, forwards and backwards. And so in this one, a lot of people will feel this like kind of clicking, popping, snagging in their shoulder. It's okay. We don't want any pain with it, right? And we want to control through it. So if you feel that kind of like click or pop, maybe put your arm lower, right? So we're not as big of circles, but instead you're coming just a little bit lower here. And that will help you control it and not go too hard on those joints, especially if there's some damage in there. So again, just circle, find that like, oh, might click right there. So I'm going to kind of flex, control, and then just go through real smooth and slow. And it actually didn't click that time because I was able to control around that joint. You won't always be able to do that. Sometimes it'll still click, that's okay. But we just want to start gaining that control, gaining that mobility, squeezing that joint, and getting that synovial fluid into it. So once we're done with the arm circles, we do the last one for the spine, and that's reaching all the way down to our toes and then coming back up and open. So we want to think of the spine as moving forward, closing, and then opening as much as we can. So we're getting that forward motion and that backward motion in the spine. And so tuck your chin and kind of feel your body curl up as you go down. And then reach down to your feet. And then slowly come back up, all muscle led. You might feel it in the back of your hamstrings, in the back of your legs. And pull up, feel your core stay tight. And then come up and open. And you can lean back as far as you want. Start slow, start just right here at the top is fine. But we do want to get this motion to get into the body. That spinal motion isn't done very often. And the spine is a weak spot for many people, right? That's why we get a lot of low back pain. So we're trying to open and close kind of this lower part of the spine, and that should help heal a lot of those ailments in the back as well. So the next one we can do is for the hips. And so this is just a side to side kind of movement. And you might want to start right here and just kind of feel this. And this might be where you're at, and that's totally fine. But the goal is you want to feel your body slide to this side, feel your body slide to this side. And eventually you want to start to get wider. And so you can kind of start to squat in it as well. So now you're pulling your whole weight to one side. And the ultimate goal is we want to get all the way down, even lower than this if we can, right? And it's just going to open that joint up the more and more we do it. And again, a motion we don't normally do in your everyday life. So it can be really beneficial because these are kind of angles and motions that have stiffened up and hardened up in the body, not allowing us, causing imbalance, which can create injury. So now the last piece is the ankles. And I kind of mentioned the ankles are really important because they're the foundation, right? We're always walking, we're always moving, and if that's not done well, we get a lot of knee pain, we get a lot of hip pain, and it kind of works its way up. So it's really important to get all the motions in the ankle, and again, it's just do the best you can. It's just what motion you have, and you're just going to do circles both ways. So kind of just take your toe and just try to draw a big circle, and then go back the other way. Okay, and then we're going to go trying to point as flat as we can, and then bring that toe up and try to touch your knee with your toe. And that's the other motion. And then the third motion, and this is the one you might not see too much because it's a very subtle motion, but we want to turn the ankle in, and then we want to turn the ankle out. And you might feel it, like I feel it run all the way up to here. So it just shows that line, this kind of pathway is a little bit tight, and I just need to open it up and lubricate it, do a little joint oiling on it. So that's the walkthrough of the routine. You don't have to watch this every time. You can kind of watch it here and there, pick up different pieces from it, try the routine out. If you're not liking one part, maybe come to the walkthrough and figure out maybe if you were doing it properly or if you can do it better.